Welcome back to my channel Automation Hub Sathak, and today we will learn about wait conditions in Selenium. I'll teach you about implicit waits and explicit waits and what exactly they are. So before we go ahead into learning this, first and foremost let me tell you what exactly these wait conditions do. Okay, so first we will learn a little bit about implicit waits, and first we'll understand why do we implement even wait conditions at the first place. See, the thing is, most of the web applications are developed using Ajax or JavaScript, or some sort of coding language, and what happens is whenever a page is loaded by the browser, the elements which we want to attract may load at different time intervals. So let's say, for example, there is a certain Ajax component, okay, and the website and that particular web element tends to load between 2 to 9 seconds, depending. There are a lot of factors which govern these, your internet speed, on top of that the API responses. A lot of things govern the loading of this particular page, and in case any particular developer is working at the back end, then this becomes another added reason for, if any developer is working on something or changing something, changing or updating anything. So these could be certain reasons which govern the fluctuation of timings for any particular web element to load. So to counter these, what will happen is, in certain situation, Selenium will work absolutely fine, and if you run the same code again, it might not. So to counter this, we have something known as implicit waits, and there is something known as explicit waits, and there is also something known as fluent waits. I'll tell you about fluent waits in another video, and this video will focus mostly on implicit and explicit waits. So what does implicit wait means? Implicit wait means actually, write this. So what implicit wait means is, you apply the implicit wait condition, okay. So you apply the implicit wait condition, and let's say you give 10 seconds. So what happens is, if any particular, and one more thing, implicit wait is across the complete Selenium code. It's not that on any particular web element or nothing. It is across the whole code which you have written, right? So what happens is, you apply the implicit wait condition, and let's say, for example, you give 10 seconds. Then you typically are asking Selenium to allow to wait maximum 10 seconds for that web element to load, and if not, then throw the error. So for each and every web element, Selenium will wait for 10 seconds. That is the power of implicit wait. It acts whole for the whole code. But I'm not very big fan of implicit waits. I prefer explicit waits. Explicit waits because you can target individual web element. Like, let's say, for example, there is 1 or 2 or 3 web elements which are taking some time to load. The others are working fine. So if you introduce implicit wait unnecessarily, I'm not saying that it will extend your code running time and all that. I'm not getting into that discussion. But then genuinely, why do you want to write a line of code which might do that fact? So instead we use explicit waits. You can target one particular web element which you think is delaying, okay. even though in manual testing it is working fine, but in automation it is delaying. So we will use explicit waits mostly. I will tell you about implicit waits, but we'll also learn about explicit waits. So now let's go back to coding. So what I've done is I've created a package known as wait conditions. If you can see here, I have created a package known as wait conditions, and then I created a class known as implicit underscore explicit underscore waits.java, and then typically I have just written a very simple Rediff code, which anyways I generally teach on Rediff. So I've just written a very simple Rediff Selenium code. I've used WebDriver manager to open the Chrome browser, and I have just used the WebDriver interface. I have declared it at a global level, and I'm using the object reference of the interface to call the Chrome driver class. Then I have maximized the window. Then I have brought in the rediff.com URL, and then I have just clicked on sign in, and I enter the username, password, and then I enter the sign in button, and then I just log out of that particular application. So this is what I have done. If you go to Rediff, what I have done is I've just let me sign out. See, I have done this thing. I've clicked on sign in button, I've entered the username and password, and I've clicked on sign in. It has come to my inbox page, and then I've clicked on this logout button and I've come out. It's a very simple. I have done hundreds of times, and you know all this, so I'm not wasting time. So I wrote this much. I have not put any wait conditions, anything. Maybe this might run. Let's see. Okay, so it's running. Okay, see, somehow when I was okay, now it's working. So it logged in. Maybe it will log out. See, it logged out. So this was a success. It logged out. I did not give any wait conditions or anything. But if I try to run this, at certain point of time, it might fail. Let me do one thing. Let me change this Chrome driver to Firefox driver. Okay, let's try in Firefox driver. I want to use Firefox driver for once, because I've been using Chrome driver quite a lot. So let me run here using Firefox driver. See, what happens is, at certain point of time, maybe this script could fail. At certain point of time, maybe this script is actually working. So if in case you are not applying any sort of wait conditions and you're just writing the code, maybe it will work absolutely fine. But what if a certain Ajax component or any sort of a JavaScript gets delayed, so that particular web element does not get loaded? So in those situations, we need to use wait conditions. As of now, it looks fine. It is logging in. Generally what happens is the sign out button creates a problem. See, in manual testing also, so this particular, sometimes what happens is, see, I'm not encountering it right now, but sometimes what happens is this logout button doesn't work. It will say ki element not interactable exception, some exception it will throw. I'll teach you about exceptions in my Java class. But sometimes what happens is the page gets stuck here, it doesn't log out. I've seen that. Maybe if I run 10-12 times or something like that, it will show you. But then we don't have time to run that so many times. I'll move to Chrome. Okay, so let me run one more time and see whether it actually gets stuck or it actually logs out. So right now, as an automation tester, I'm not sure about the fact that this logout button will actually get highlighted by Selenium instantly, and it will log out, because I know that sometimes it is working, sometimes it is not working. See, it got stuck. It got stuck, right? In the second attempt, it got stuck. In the first attempt, it was working fine. So now this proves that certain component could not be identified. Let's see what it says. No such element. See, rd underscore logout. Okay, rd underscore logout is the logout button which I was talking about. This is the class. See, just 1 minute back it was working absolutely fine, and exactly after 1 minute it is not. I did not do anything. So now, to how to counter these things? So what happens is, generally we use something known as the implicitly wait. Okay, we use driver, the syntax for implicitly wait, and please practice this, because this is asked in interview. Driver dot manage dot timeouts dot implicitly wait, and see, here we have a long time, matlab we can give something around 10 or 5, it's up to you. Time unit and unit you have to specify. Okay, so I'm doing this, I'm giving 10 time unit dot seconds. Okay, so now I have, what I have done is I have added an implicit wait here. This is the implicit wait code. Okay, please practice this, because interviewers ask these questions. Can you please write the implicit wait syntax? And this is mostly asked to junior automation testers. So this is kind of an interview question for them. When I was just 1 year or 2 years into automation, this was also asked to me. So let me run this. Now, why in the beginning of the video I told you that I am not really a fan of implicit waits? Because I somehow believe that somehow it really isn't as powerful as explicit waits, and probably it acts upon the whole code of all the elements that we are trying to identify using Selenium. So why will Selenium rather wait for the maximum amount of time that is allotted? And let's say, for example, I'm just worried about 4 or 5 web elements which are actually not working fine. So see, this thing actually worked fine, so implicit wait is working fine. Okay, so but let's say, for example, I don't want to use implicit wait. Okay, I don't want it for the whole of application. I just want it at a specific location, and this specific location is this fellow is bothering me. So just before this I will apply an explicit wait. One of the examples of explicit wait is thread.sleep, and many a times people use this. There are a lot of debates happening over internet, online, and all that stuff, that we should not use thread.sleep. But why you should not thread.sleep, no one tells us. See, thread.sleep is a final savior of all final savior of all Selenium testers. I'm being very honest with you, I'm not joking here. Selenium testing, what happens is, whenever you are about to deliver a particular project and one particular job in Jenkins of your fails, and there are certain timeout issues, do you think you are in a position to go and write your WebDriver wait conditions when the client is actually waiting for you to deliver or give you the test results? So somehow out of hurry we use this. It's nothing, it's very simple, and it works, and is powerful as well. But you should not be using this. Just for example, let's say, for example, after you open rediff.com, the sign in, okay, let's say, for example, after clicking on sign in, the next page that opens, it doesn't show up that fast. So you will again apply some thread.sleep. Okay, let's say, for example, you are applying thread.sleep 2000 here. Then again for this also is not loading, so we'll again apply thread.sleep here. Okay, and again this thing is not loading, again apply thread.sleep. So what happens is, you are asking Selenium to wait for 2 to 2 seconds each for each and every encounter. So let's run this code. So what will happen is now Selenium will wait for 2 seconds default to run this particular code. See, now what will happen is it will click on sign in and post that the, see, it is not writing, it will wait for 2 seconds. Now it wrote. Again it will wait for 2 seconds. Then it will use the password. Again it will wait. Click on sign in. It waits here. After 2 seconds it will click on logout and then it comes out. See the timing, it waited for 2 seconds each. So let's say for example your application is very unstable and you want, for each and every element, application is throwing certain kind of element not interactable, element not visible, some kind of an exception. So if you give thread.sleep at each and every place before that element gets highlighted with Selenium, imagine the time extension you are doing for your own running or for your own code run. It's not advisable. That is why you should not use thread.sleep. Okay, and to avoid this particular thing, we have something known as explicit waits. See, thread.sleep is an example of explicit wait, and I will keep this example here. Okay, but in case you want to use, let's say for example, even this ID, login, password and all were not doing really great. So even for this, you have something known as WebDriver wait. This is a class in Selenium which actually helps you to go through those WebDriver explicit wait conditions. Okay. So now, so this is something which you need to be. I'll tell you first. Let me write. Okay, now what did I do here? See, first and foremost, what you have to do is you have to, use the WebDriver wait class, and you have to create the object of the WebDriver wait class, and you have to pass the object reference of the WebDriver, that is driver parameter, alongside the time you want to maximum wait for this particular web element to load. And then using this object reference of the WebDriver wait, you have to invoke a particular method which is known as until. Okay, wait.until, and here inside until, if you see, this function returns neither null or false, and this function throws an unignored exception. When we go ahead, we will learn about all these things. So what you have to write here inside the parameter of this method is that you have to write an expected conditions. What is that expectation that you have from this particular wait condition? That is element to be clickable, and I have chosen something known as by web locator. So driver.find element, by.id I have chosen. Okay, it is as simple as that. So WebDriver wait will, so this is only explicit to this particular web element which has an ID of login1, and this is not applicable to this, and it is not applicable to this also. This is only applicable to this particular web element. So this becomes easy for us. Only those web elements which are delaying, let's say for example, so for those things only we are using it. So you can use something like this, instead of thread.sleep, you can use something like this here, and instead of driver.find element by ID, you can use this thing as well. by class name, and this should also work fine. So what I'll do is, see, you are using it locally, so I have to change the object reference. So what I'll do is I'll comment this thread.sleep. Okay, so for WebDriver, for logout, I have also introduced some certain something. So let's see. I'm trying to run the code. Now we'll see, like when we use thread.sleep, the Selenium was waiting for 2 seconds each. But now using WebDriver wait, will it do the same thing? Because I have eliminated all the thread.sleeps. Okay. See, it's not waiting, it's going as fast as it can. And it is also logging out without any problem. So thread.sleep delayed our execution code. WebDriver wait did not. So what is basically the difference between thread.sleep and WebDriver wait? See, the basic difference between thread.sleep, whatever timing you give, versus WebDriver wait. So what happens here, it is mandate to wait. Selenium is bound to wait for that much amount of time. Okay, it will have to. This is the first difference. And for WebDriver wait, the moment it identifies, it will move on. Else, if the time is lapsed, it will throw error. Right? So what is this time lapse? What we have given here? 10, right? So this is 10 seconds which we have given. Remember? Simple. This is 2000 milliseconds, which is 2 seconds. So similarly, this is the most important, and what happens is it slows down the code. It does not. It works individually. Okay, now what is the similarity? The only similarity which I can say is they are working on individual web elements. That is the only similarity they have. So these are the two main differences of WebDriver wait and thread.sleep. And I prefer, and I also advise you guys to use WebDriver wait. Do not use thread.sleep unless and until you don't have much time and you have to just do it. So that's how it is. Because see, I'm using thread.sleep 2000 milliseconds. What if I do 5000 milliseconds? Just imagine how much slowness this thing will have. So what's the point of automating anything? You can do it faster in manual. So this much for today, this much for this video. I hope you understood implicit waits and explicit waits. I will give you an example of fluent waits in my upcoming videos. So thank you guys, and keep learning. Thank you so much. Sathak here, signing off.